obviously we big week for us. Big opportunity on Saturday against a really talented and well-coached team who, just bounces, breaks really haven't gone their way thus far in league play, but 11-2 non-league is not a fluke. Win at Villanova, not a fluke. Really, really good, experienced, talented offensive team that just presents so many issues for your defense and will test you for 40 minutes. And we've had a pretty good week of practice so far, and excited about the last couple days of preparation as we head down to New York for a huge game.
Mike,
Mike, different. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ian.
okay. Keno won player of the week. He had a 34-point performance. Just what stood out about him last week when you guys kind of needed to get going a little bit too?
He was super aggressive. He's just, we've said this so many times. He just always makes the right basketball play, and obviously so much attention is brought to him that a lot of times the right basketball play is to give it up to an open teammate and create a 4-on-3 advantage for your team. I loved how aggressive he was, especially in transition. He's such a good shooter off the bounce and off the catch that sometimes the best opportunities for him may come as he's bringing it over half court in transition. And he hit a couple, probably 28 footers to get him going, but rhythm dribbles, when the defense wasn't maybe in his face, and definitely didn't have two guys on him, like a lot of other defenses do. So I loved his aggressiveness. He'd made 5 threes in the first, I think Scott said, 9 minutes of the game on Friday night. So, and he continued to stay aggressive throughout. So he was really good early, and then he helped close it out late with some big buckets. Driving to the basket, making a big three late, and then getting to the foul line. I think the more he can get to the foul line too, the better that can be for us. So. I loved how aggressive he was, Ian, and we're going to need him to continue to, make the right play, but err on the side of being really aggressive.
Mike, what
Mike,
about Landon? What's his status?
He's progressing. I would say uncertain, for this weekend, but he's made good progress. Continues to get great treatment and support from our sports medicine team, and he's in a much better place now than he was last Thursday. But still, not back to 100%, still not fully back in practice. He's going to do a little bit more today, but yeah, very much uncertain.
Thank you.
Mike, Columbia is really good from an offensive efficiency standpoint. They rank 58th nationally. Even last weekend, without De La Rosa, 82 and 89 points against Harvard and Dartmouth, respectively. How do you slow them down?
Well, I think it starts by trying to slow them down. They play really fast, and their pace is really good. And not that we don't like to play fast, because a lot of times offensively, like I said, we're at our best in transition. But can our full court pressure defense, make them work, not get into offense as quickly as, maybe they want to? I thought even though our defensive efficiency was really poor against Cornell, we did keep them out of transition a lot. And I think a lot of that had to do with how we pressure you and how we try to slow you down and in transition. So we've got to be really disciplined, with our assignments in transition. We've got to be really good at, bringing some pressure, but not getting beat. And, and then in the half court, you just have to be really disciplined. I mean, they cut so well. They have so many counters. They have counters to their counters. And, it's like they're going to test your defensive fundamentals. So you can't take it all away, but we have, some things that we definitely need to key in on and focus in terms of what our coverages are going to be and what we're willing to live with.
Mike, just how important will be taking care of the basketball on the offensive end? No, this is a team that can steal the basketball, and then I'm sure with the experienced guards too, they can turn it into points.
Yeah, even in our win down there last year, we had 18 turnovers. I don't think you want to plan on doing that again this year if you plan on winning. And we've seen a lot of our best performances this year have been low turnover games. It's a key stat for us, as well as defending the paint, defensive rebounding. If we can take care of the ball, number one, it gives us a good chance at either scoring or getting a rebound. We're a pretty good offensive rebounding team. And number two, it doesn't, fuel their transition game. So ball security will be paramount. And, I think, it's something that we continue to work on. Now they're going to test you because of, you said it, their speed, their quickness, how they generate steals, but then also how aggressive they are in a lot of their different coverages.
In terms of your team, and guys stepping forward, Lindell, this season, just what have you seen in terms of his growth and maybe what's impressed you most about, the improvements he's made?
Yeah, I think probably what's impressed me most dates back to, how he handled some adversity in terms of not playing much his first few years. And even last year, 15 games in, he hadn't played a whole lot. So I would say that's impressed me most, how he handled that, continued to show up every day, work really hard outside of practice time, compete at a high level during practice with a great attitude, to be a great teammate and try to do whatever he could to help Brown basketball, right? While also helping himself, but first and foremost, trying to do everything he could to help Brown basketball. And now he's in a spot where he has reaped the rewards of, of all that hard work. And, he's a gym rat. He's shooting the ball over 40% from three at a pretty good volume in league play. He can defend the other team's best player. He had 11 rebounds against Penn. Whatever it takes to win, Liddell's going to try to do. So, it's a, you love obviously, seeing player development like Keno and Nana and Aaron and, all league guys that we've had, but like seeing the player development of a guy like Lindell now in his senior year is great to see as a coach.
Mike, Rubio De La Rosa obviously hasn't played in their last two. I wonder, just as a coach, how do you approach game planning when you're uncertain of injuries and a key player in another team?
Yeah, we certainly expect to see him, although we don't know for sure. And, I think you just try to take what do they do offensively when he's on the court? What do they do defensively when he's on the court? And then the same, what do they like offensively when he's off? And what do they like defensively when he's off? And he's a dynamite talent. He is a terrific, terrific talent, both with the ball and probably even more dangerous without the ball offensively. So I don't want to undersell how good he is, but they are just a five-man motion offense that, is like a machine with how they run their screening actions, their cutting, their ball screens, their off-ball movement. Again, counters to counters to counters, with what they do offensively. So whether or not he's in there or not, as Scott alluded to, they're a high-powered offensive team. When he's in there, obviously it makes them that much better.